I'm shooting this on, I believe, a Sunday today, and it's pretty gloomy, kind of quiet Sunday morning, which is kind of nice. Kind of quiet. You might be able to hear some dump trucks backing up. All right, so today we are going to continue assembling all of the frames for the Coop. Actually, the Coop framing is done. Now we're going to assemble the framing for the Run. So that's going to be plan number one, and anything beyond that today is going to be bonus, but I'm sure we'll try to get at least a little bit more done. Maybe we'll start cladding some plywood onto the Coop, or maybe we'll start building the trusses for the roof. That's another one we still need to do. So there's still a lot to do. I'm just kind of picking and choosing the work as I can. So even though all of the frames are built, I still need to go ahead and start putting those pocket holes onto the sides so that I can butt joint all of these panels together and assemble everything. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that done real quick, and then I'll meet you back down at the chicken coop. There she is so far. I've got the two more panels I need to drill some pocket holes in, and then we are ready to finish assembling all of the frames. So the coops is all assembled, or at least the walls of the coop. The actually, that's where let me point to it. There we go. The door is gonna go right there. So the other two sides of that panel that I just put up are just gonna be wiring or hardware mesh. So There's going to be plenty of ventilation in the run, so I'm not worried about that. And I've got plans for the coop where there's going to be plenty of ventilation in that too. So let me go ahead, finish drilling the other two panels, and then we can see what the whole thing looks like, at least when the framing is assembled. So, all right, cool. Let's get to it. Okay, you know what? It's starting to rain, and I don't think I'll be able to record this for you guys, so I think we're just gonna have to do it. We're gonna have to use it. Still got it. All right, since we are kind of at a good stopping point, we've got a lot of the framing totally up. I'm just gonna talk about a couple of things that I did, and things where if you wanted to build something similar to this in this style, just stuff to consider. First of all, you want to keep in mind which panels are butting into the other panels. For example, I'm at the coop side staring at the end of the run, and you'll notice this panel fits inside the two side panels. The total measurement is 48 inches, exactly 4 feet wide, which means this inside panel is not 48 inches. Another thing to keep in mind is because these are being butt jointed and pocket hole screws are being put into them, you have to remember that this is the inside piece that is screwing into that piece. So don't waste your time trying to drill pocket holes into this side of the board. However, this side screws into the next panel. So on the sides here, you really only need the pocket holes on one side of each of those panels, because that panel screws into this one, this panel screws into this panel, and you keep going. This panel screws into the coop, and so on. So just make sure that you kind of keep an eye on which side is the left side or the right side or the front and the back, however you want to visualize it, because panels on this side get pocket hole screws sort of opposite of panels that are on this side. So you can't just say, oh, I've got a bunch of panels, I'll just put pocket holes on the left side of every one of them. Bad idea. It's not going to work. Keep in mind that this side might have pocket holes on the left, this side might have pocket holes on the right. Also, I'm not entirely sure if I mentioned this or not. So this is the coop right behind me, and this is the run that's going along this way. The coop is 4 feet. This panel is 4 feet with a center post. And then this panel is 3 feet, and that's what's going to give me that 11-foot length that I was planning on. Now, the reason why I made that last panel, the short one, is because that's where I want my door. And since I have a 3-foot panel, that's going to give me a nice, roughly 30-inch door right there, which is plenty wide for me to fit a wheelbarrow. Now, it's only 4 foot deep, which means your typical wheelbarrow is really more like 6 feet with the handles. So I won't necessarily be able to bring the wheelbarrow completely in, but I don't need to. I just need to open the door, dump some wood chips in there, and then back it out, and then I can either rake it or let the chickens do the raking, right? So keep that in mind, and when you're designing your coop, is you want to make sure that you make the doorways large enough to make your life easier in the future. All right, I'm sitting where the coop doors are going to be, and that's another thing that you want to consider when you're building a chicken coop, is that you want to make sure that it's going to be easy enough to clean out when you need to clean it. Chickens are kind of dusty and messy, and things can get smelly if you don't keep up with it. My plan here is to have 2 big doors that I can open, and I might even add a tailgate door so that I can just bring my wheelbarrow right here, scoop all of the litter out, and throw that stuff right into the compost bin, which conveniently is right behind you. I just turned the camera around so that you can see. Now the coop is right behind you, and the compost is right here, and the garden is right behind me. And so the idea here is that I want to keep everything as local as possible, just so that I don't have to truck this stuff all around the property. If I've got scraps that I want to throw in the compost, compost is right next to the garden. If I've got scraps that I want to give to the chickens are right there. If their litter is getting a little heavy, I can clean that out, dump it right here in the compost. Once this is done, dump it right there in the garden. Everything is relatively close and easy to get to. But I'm gonna say I think that's all for now. This might be a short video, I'm not sure. We've got some inclement weather coming in, and I've got a little more thinking and planning to do in terms of starting to think about the roof line, starting to think about where I'm going to put some plywood, how I'm going to build those doors, and so on. Maybe the next time I post the video, some of this stuff might be done, only because it's kind of taking me a while to build this stuff and record, and I'm starting to run out of time. So we'll see how much I get recorded after this. But in the meantime, you guys, as always, be good. I'll see you on the next one.